Hey, my name is Jesse Lee Stout. I'm a creative director for bands and musicians. I do art direction, design stages, experiences, and work on the artist branding. Well, how I kind of got started was making video art for friends that were DJing, for some sort of psychedelic rock bands that were friends of mine. And Rihanna's creative director actually saw some stuff. So that kind of exploded into a lot of work with Rihanna. All of a sudden, I started to see that this could be a career. I've been really fortunate to work with some amazing names in this industry that have inspired me. I've directed video art for Jay-Z and Drake. I've worked on designing shows for BXX and for Beck, which was really amazing. I did a lot of work with Imagine Dragons. I've recently been doing all of the creative work with Muse on their most recent album cycle, Simulation Theory, as well as expanding into Asia. And I've worked with a couple of artists there, Jem and Nami Yamuro. It's really been an incredible experience. I always find it crucial to meet with a client in person. I will pretty much never send ideas or a package or a presentation via email right off the start. It's so important to read your audience. When I'm sharing ideas with a new client in an initial meeting, I have to watch what they're doing with their eyes, what they're paying attention to, what idea that I say or show them on my laptop sort of gets a spark out of their face, out of their eye. That's kind of how an initial meeting starts. From there, I usually start putting together a more focused presentation after a lot of research and start bringing in practical, real ideas. To an extent, I don't think you ever want to be too practical. You've got to be a little crazy to have something original. And the crazy ideas, even though they're not always possible, if you're with the right team, they will help you figure out how to produce the thing. I was used to working on a very small screen, and you see, let's say you have a Steadicam, or even something's a bit more cinema verite, and it's a shaky cam following somebody. When you're in a giant arena on a massive screen, it feels like there's a full earthquake in the venue. You really need that smoothness to make the whole visual digestible. So when I created this festival stage for Muse, there were a lot of conditions, I should say. There was, you always have to take into consideration the changeover time between bands. You get about 30 minutes maybe for a headliner, and that's a very short amount of time to build a whole setup in that amount of time and have it work, test it. So part of this trick that I came up with was that I wanted moving screens on the stage, but we couldn't have things tracking from the ceiling and so forth. So I literally made these carts that people push from behind, and the audience has no idea because the pushers are hidden, and they literally push these screens into different formations. And I saw it as create with this look. So I start off with a bunch of rough sort of 3D sketches, and then as I got in further, we start to develop how can this thing actually work, and how can it break down, because everything in concert touring needs to break down into trucks. From there, I had to show not only how these video panels, these carts could change formations, have a different choreography, but also what does the lighting in the video content look like. An audience goes to a venue, they're used to the stage down at one point. Well, what if you switch that around and you have stuff happen behind them or you have stuff come from the side, or something actually happens in the audience, or it comes from above. These things really make an immersive experience that sort of breaks people out of their norm and their expectations. And at this point, people have seen just about everything, so I'm constantly challenged with what are they expecting to see, and how do I sort of flip that on its head?